and that's why one of the reasons I had you on, Lane, is that you are so skilled at explaining this, right? So could you just take us through physically what is a submarine cable?
No pressure. Yeah, of course. So a submarine cable, subcables are the physical components of the internet that go underneath the water, the very bottom of the ocean, and connect continents and different countries, etc., all together and form this like critical piece of the internet as we know it. They're very small. Um, Typical comparison would be like a garden hose, and then the optical fibers themselves that are inside of that are even smaller, so it's going to be like the size of human hair and smaller
Mm,
than that even.
that is
um
crazy.
no, it's wild to think about. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite things on earth is subsea cables. um when we're thinking about the technology and the equipment, et cetera, that's involved in these things, we typically divide it into two parts, and that's going to be the dry plant and the wet plant.
Mm,
As it sounds, the wet plant is everything that's under the water. So this is the cable itself. It's going to be the repeaters, like the optical amplifiers that are spaced evenly along the systems if they're really long. Um, Not all cables are simple, like point to point. Maybe there's a
mm.
branching unit in the middle to kind of connect different parts and segments of the cable. All of that is going to be part of the wet. And then the dry includes the cable landing station, the beach manhole, any equipment inside the landing station that's going to be the actual transmissions equipment that's called the SLTE, the
Mm,
power
mhm.
feeding equipment, like network visibility stuff, security, all of that is in the cable landing station. And then from there, it connects to terrestrial networks.
Gotcha. And you mentioned power at the cable landing station, often called CLS. We love to help people cut through the acronyms, right? That power has to send the power all along the entirety of the submarine cable. How does that work?
Yeah, so there's copper, right, in the actual subsea
Hmm.
cable. It's going to be polyethylene, so it's a little white plasticky poly around the outside. There's steel, there's copper, and then there's the optical fibers themselves. So that power gets transmitted, and its purpose is to power the repeaters.
Right.
Um, what the repeaters are and why they're necessary, just briefly. Optical signal cannot travel endlessly, right?
Hmm.
At some point, it is going to attenuate and diminish in strength. So to repropagate that signal and keep it going over long distances, like you're going to need to cross the oceans, there are these repeaters and they're huge. They're like the size of a person laying down alongside this cable, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and that takes the optical signal, uses the power from the shore, and resends it along. And that's going to be every like 60, 80 kilometers along these undersea systems.